field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 63 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man was arrested Saturday, charged with burglary and aggravated indecent assault. Pittsburgh police arrested 29-year-old Charles Willis. Police say he confessed to the crimes that were committed in Oakland early Thursday morning at a residence in the 3400 block of Parkview Avenue. Willis also faces indecent assault, prowling at nighttime, and harassment charges. He's being held in the Allegheny County Jail. One man in custody this morning after he barricaded himself inside a home in Denora. Incident happened around 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon at a home on McCrae Avenue. It took about 3 to 4 hours for police or the SWAT team to get him out the home. He eventually surrendered. It's unclear what originally led police to the home. Doug McCain, Navy pilot and the eldest child of the late Senator John McCain, has died suddenly at the age of 66. That's according to his family. Cause of death not immediately clear. Doug was the son of John McCain's first wife, Carol Shep, and McCain adopted him when he and Shep married in 1965. Death of a 4-year-old boy who was killed when he was struck by a vehicle in the Hill District has been ruled an accident. Investigators say the 4-year-old boy, Yasan Irvin Weathers, ran into the street, that's Anaheim Street, right before he was struck by that vehicle on Monday night. Driver stayed at the scene, and police said the driver was not impaired. The crash is under review by the city's Department of Mobility and Infrastructure. Well, people on the grounds of the White House, including a crew from ABC News, had to run for cover during a deadly shooting Saturday afternoon right near the White House. Gunfire erupting near a White House checkpoint. Secret Service shooting and killing that armed man who opened fire. Here's the latest from ABC News.
It happened as ABC News was on the White House grounds, covering another story. Selena Wang was in the middle of a report on the North Lawn when the story suddenly changed.
President Trump has said a deal is close, only for the two sides to remain far apart.
Wang and her crew were taping a story when they heard what sounded like gunshots just steps away. They immediately took cover after hearing people yelling for them to sprint to the White House briefing room.
KDK Radio News Time, 11:03. Time to visit RomeMonuments.com. Life is a journey to remember. Memorialize that journey. RomeMonuments.com. AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Life's best moments start with perfect choices. For Connie Nowak, it was a trolley ride and a 67-year love story. A life of family, smart decisions, and companionship with Chester the cat. Her retirement choice, the Village at St. Barnabas. Recreation, healthcare, close to family, everything on her list. Right now, we'll make your move to the Village perfect too. Up to $2,000 toward moving costs. St. Barnabas Retirement Communities, stbarnabascommunities.com, or call 724-444-5568.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Would you ever consider paying for your new mattress 2 times? It sounds expensive, but that's exactly what happens when you buy from a mainstream mattress store. The manufacturer marks it up, sells it to the retailer, who marks it up again and sells it to you. Because the Original Mattress Factory sells factory direct, the mattress you buy is being sold for the first and only time, providing real value. Don't buy your mattress twice. Visit the Original Mattress Factory today.
Pittsburgh, we've got a problem. Home care is in crisis and there aren't enough caregivers to meet the demand. So if you've got a loved one with Medicaid and needs care, don't wait. Freedom Care was built for this moment. We help you get care at home from someone you already trust. A family member or friend who can get paid to help with everyday needs like meals, medication, bathing, and mobility. If you have Medicaid, it's 100% free to you. No waiting lists. Just real care from your people right now. Freedom Care handles it all. Training, payroll, and support. So you can stay safe and comfortable at home, and your caregiver gets paid after every shift guaranteed. With 97% satisfaction and over 150 million hours of care delivered, Pittsburgh families are already making the switch to care at home. Take care of your own and get paid with Freedom Care. Call 412-844-5990. That's 412-844-5990. Call now, 412-844-5990. 412-844-5990.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly cloudy this afternoon. A couple of showers, even a thunderstorm, I-73. A few showers and even a thunderstorm in the area tonight, low 62. Maybe a shower tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, I-77, and then partly sunny Tuesday, I-83. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, real treat right in center square, Metropolitan Window video screen. Of course, KDKRadio.com, KDK Watch. He is the skipper. He is Joe Giordano. And, of course, Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment in studio as always. He is a fixture. He is Greg Diolis. Skip, before we get into our Pirates, the team that really, no matter what, you laid the foundation. The Pitt Panthers, they lose yesterday. A thrilling win against Florida State. Your thoughts about their ACC tournament run. Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning. It was fantastic. It was very similar to my last year at Pitt in 2018. We knocked off Georgia Tech and North Carolina, and we went to the semifinal game and lost to Louisville. But because of all the teams participating in the tournament, Pitt had an extra game in there. And I tell you what, I texted Mike Bell this morning and just said, you're definitely one of the top 50 teams in the country. And unfortunately, that selection committee sometimes makes some interesting decisions. So crossing our fingers, explosive offense, one of the most impressive offenses that I've seen, and I hope they get in. It was a great run.
Yeah, Joe, I was flipping back and forth between the Pirates and them on Friday night, and after the disappointment of the Pirate game Friday night, it flipped over, and it was the top of the ninth inning, and the Wagner kid hits his second home run of the game well, it wasn't a walk-off, but to put them in the lead, and just to see the emotion of the Pitt bench as it erupted as that ball went over the fence, that was exciting times. So it was a good thing to see as you know that they've had some struggle within the ACC this year. They're well below 500 in the ACC, but yet they're 33-23 overall. Kind of goes to show you the strength of the ACC baseball as compared to really ACC basketball now, which is what it's known for.
ACC baseball, ever since we joined back in 2000, I believe, or 14, it's every weekend. It's a war. I mean, it is really very, very good baseball. Great coaching, great players, great atmosphere, facilities. Everything's outstanding. And you have to be on top of your game. And, that sweep they had against Virginia, I really thought that was something to do that at home and sweep a team. Anytime you sweep a team in the ACC, it's very difficult to do. And, again, the issue, I think the only thing working against Pitt is how many teams the committee is going to take from the ACC.
Yeah.
And that's the determining factor. But again, I think they're definitely deserving of a bid, and they should get one.
Joe, it's interesting to see you talk about all the different things that are great makeups of the ACC baseball programs now, one of which you mentioned is the facilities. I go back to the days of Trees Field and,
oh boy.
And half.
I went through a lot of therapy, Greg, to get Trees Field out of my mind, and you just raised it and brought it right back home.
I tend to do that to you. I bring up those leadoff walks that make you crazy too. I just, I get under you.
That's right.
But yeah, but those facilities now, it's just really, really impressive to see what's going on with the ACC. But and it should be an interesting. And the question becomes: does Pitt have a chance to jump over some of the teams that they finished behind in the ACC because of the late run? We'll see. And I guess the selection show is later today.
Well, let me just go back to Trees Field. This is what I had to do. Because we had the right field fence was gone, and we had women's soccer practicing from the right field line to center field. This is in the fall. We had the men's soccer team practicing at a different time from left field to center. And every night at 6 o'clock, my good friend Jack Anderson, who was the band director, one of the greatest of all time, the band would practice on the fields behind the third base dugout. So we would have to practice with no fence, and we'd have to work our fall schedule around soccer practice, soccer games, and then band practice. So that's my recollection. And then the kids at 3 o'clock from Malign School coming behind our through the gate, behind the dugout, in play during our games.
Yeah, Joe. I
have some great stories.
I was there before you were, but I was in the days when actually the football team would occasionally have to practice up there too. So especially in those fall practices, and it was great though. Coach Fazer used to come and ask if he could hit a few balls during batting practice with us. We the overlap of all the sports that were up there was quite unique. But now you got some impressive facilities for everybody up there.
No doubt.
All right, listen,
great place.
Let me jump back in here, and then we'll take a break, come back, talk about our slumping Pittsburgh Pirates. But Wagner hitting that homer, I told our sports director, Jeff Hathorn, who joined me in the studio yesterday, to talk about the win against Florida State. Yeah, he is. He's incredible. But, Wagner, that is one of those moments when you're in the backyard waiting for the burgers to get done on the grill and your buddies are with their family, and you're saying to yourself, it's the bottom of the ninth, we're down by a run, it's a 3-2 pitch. There it is. Could it be? It's gone. Just a magical moment that he'll be talking about for a lifetime. But something Jeff brought up about Skipper Bell is he has gone out and found players at places like Grove City and elsewhere. So this guy has really gone into overdrive. Even if he has to log a few miles with the price of gasoline the way it is, that can be expensive, but it definitely has paid off, hasn't it, Skipper?
It definitely has. And, it's a different landscape. Like I said, maybe I mentioned this before, but I used to have a 32-man roster at Pitt where the maximum was 35. But I had to have my 32 men on the roster day one of school. I couldn't cut anyone. I couldn't, and I didn't want to cut anyone. But what we brought in, that's what we played the season with from day one of school.
Wow.
So there were a lot of internal kind of challenges that we had. We didn't care. We had Trees Field. At one point, we were number 17 in the country on Trees Field. How's that happen, Greg?
That's quite impressive. Yeah. That was Big East days.
Those were the days.
That was Big East, right?
We were in the Big East, and then when we went to the Peterson Sports Complex, that's a year and a half later, 2 years, we joined the ACC.
Right.
All right, one other question about the Pirates, and we'll come back and do some due diligence. And the Bucks in Toronto getting set to play another game coming up shortly, a little after 12 o'clock, 93.7 The Fan. So Garrett Cole comes back after being out since 2024, had 6 scoreless innings, although the Yankees ended up losing the game. So I've been thinking, gentlemen, about all the pitching talent that the Pirates organization has had through the years, some here, some there. Obviously, Skeens, Bubba Chandler throws 11 strikeouts Friday night. Good sign there. Keller's going to go today. Mentioned Jamison Tyon before. Clay Holmes will be here all day. But we didn't really dive into it. But how is it, or is this just part of the bigs and there's a lot of pitching talent out there? But am I onto something thinking that something at least must be done and happening in the right way because of the pitching depth that this organization has had for the last 10-plus years? You first, Joe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you mentioned the names. And you go up and down, and there's a lot of people out there saying, if we would have been able to keep a couple of these guys and extend them like they did with Connor Griffin, we might be in a different spot right now. But obviously that wasn't a part of the grand plan. And for how many years did the Pirates have the first or second pick in the draft?
Yeah.
And you're going to get good players when you're picking in that early in the draft. And unfortunately, those guys went away, and it certainly affected the last several seasons for sure. That you could have had some really good quality arms and players that you couldn't hang on to for some reason.
Joe, when you look down that list of guys that the Pirates have drafted, and it's been several administrations, so it's not just one, but they all seem to be power right-handed pitchers. And I guess it's all around baseball. There's such a dearth of left-handed pitching that hardly anyone has one. You look at the Pirates rotation; it's 5 right-handed pitchers. Nobody really has any lefty. What happened to all the Kershaws and Steve Carltons and Sandy Koufaxes of the world that used to be?
Well, it's funny. I coached Mac Moyer at IMG, who was Jamie Moyer's son, and we went to a tournament out in Arizona. We went to an Arizona State game, and he was sitting next to me, and we just talked the entire game. And I tell you what, he was fantastic. That's the type of pitcher you need. You got the power arms. You come back with that lefty. That lefty can really disrupt the lineup.
All right, Joe Giordano, IMG Academy, former Pitt Panther baseball coach, talking Pirate baseball. We're always grateful to have him here. Great way to lead off any show, but especially during the Bucco season. We continue. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDK, in just a couple of moments.
Your source for everything that's news. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
This is Stories from the Pitch. Brought to you by the first ever Infiniti QX65 and by Lowe's. Give your yard its own moment with new limited time deals from Lowe's.
For decades, FIFA had promised Africa a World Cup. Sepp Blatter finally delivered. South Africa, 16 years out of apartheid, hosted the tournament. And the soundtrack, whether broadcasters liked it or not, was the Vuvuzela, that long plastic horn, droning like a swarm of bees through every match. Some players hated it. Networks tried to filter it out. Mostly, they failed. Sapiwe Chabalala scored the opening goal of the tournament for the host nation against Mexico. A screamer into the top corner. The whole country on its feet. South Africa wouldn't make it out of the group. Ghana would carry African hopes deepest. But the cup had finally come home, and home was loud.
Stay tuned to this Odyssey station for more Stories from the Pitch.
For women with postmenopausal osteoporosis at high risk for fracture, there's more you can do to strengthen your bones with Evenity. This is the sound of 4 women who think they're doing everything they can. A high fracture risk will cause 3 of them to break a bone in their lifetime. With Evenity, they could be rapidly building new bone in just 12 months. 2 think they already are building bone. And for 1, the game is about to change. To make an appointment, press 2. Because she's calling her doctor about Evenity. Evenity can increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a heart problem. Tell your doctor if you have had a heart attack or stroke. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it, as serious events have occurred with Evenity. Signs include rash, hives, swelling of the face or throat, which may cause difficulty in swallowing or breathing, muscle spasms or cramps, numbness or tingling. Tell your doctor about severe jawbone problems as they have been reported with Evenity. Report hip, groin, or thigh pain. Unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred with Evenity. Learn more about building new bone at Evenity.com.
Hey folks, my friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Scott from Aspinwall was amazed at NASCO's quality, honesty, work ethic, and superior craftsmanship. Scott loved working with NASCO and appreciated that NASCO doesn't use high-pressure sales tactics like other companies. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Scott. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, listen, Joe Giordano, always so happy to have him here, former Panther head baseball coach now at IMG Academy. Before we talk baseball, so what are you doing this time of year at the beautiful, someday I hope to visit when I retire, IMG Academy? What's going on down there, Skip?
Well, we just wrapped up. We had graduation, and now the camp season starts. All of our sports across the academy. It's a huge, huge camp business. The projections are 13,000 campers over the next 2.5 months across all our sports from 113 different countries.
Holy
so
man.
It's camp time.
Talk about
which is pretty aggressive. Plus that things heat up down here from the sun.
Yes.
And we get a lot of kids from the north that aren't used to that. That's for sure. So it's always challenging, but it's a great experience throughout all our sports. They put a lot into it, not only on the field, on the court, wherever the camp venue is, but off the field as well. They do a lot of activities. It's a whole day experience in terms of camping at IMG Academy.
All right, so
Joe, there used to be I'm sorry, Rob.
Go ahead,
There
finish your
used to be really good basketball camps here called a Metro Index, and they were held outdoors on asphalt courts. Are your basketball courts at IMG? Or it's got to be so hot there, you got to use your indoor facilities, I would imagine.
Yes, everything's indoors.
Yeah.
We have a brand new basketball facility open up less than 2 years ago. And I think they go the cross courts. I think it's like 10 courts that they can use. So
pretty cool. And I got to believe tennis still has a big footprint down there too, right?
6 indoor courts, and I believe the number is 52 outdoor.
My favorite time of the year right now, French Open, Roland Garros, the clay courts. We roll into Wimbledon, U.S. Open. Absolutely love that sport. All right, Joe, here we go. Skeens couldn't even save this team that seems to be being troubled a little bit. Greg was mentioning the fact that, because I said, where's Brian Reynolds been? Garcia obviously doing pretty good out there in the outfield. But where's O'Neal Cruz, as he said to me? So what's going on with this Pittsburgh Pirate team? And hopefully they can salvage a win today at Toronto.
Well, obviously the bullpen's a concern. I was sad to see that Isaac got sent down, but hopefully he'll be back, get it straightened out. But I think at times when you're in a little bit of a slump, maybe Skeens goes out and puts a little pressure on himself and says, "Hey, I got to win this game. I got to turn this around. This is on my shoulders." And the basic things that we've talked about for the last several weeks is the fundamentals, right? Clean baseball, take care of the baseball. They've been having some errors recently. You give a major league team a few extra outs an inning, it's going to be very difficult to win. There's just not that many holes in the lineup, and you just have to have from top to bottom. And I think with Valdez coming up, obviously, he's in the lineup today in right field, and Cruz is DHing. So we'll see what happens. But it's, I think it goes down to the basics, guys.
Yeah,
you're the baseball, and you got to play the game.
Well, here's one of the definite red flags. You get Bupper Chandler, who throws 11 strikeouts, and you have 3 errors that are costly. Just can't have that happen. And Skeens, I think he is putting a lot of pressure on himself because he can't get out of the first inning without giving up a home run. So, and when you're playing catch up with these bats that have gone cold, once again, it's not a recipe for success, Greg.
Yeah, you get.
I will tell you real quick. I coached against George Springer, and when he was at UConn. And let me tell you, he's one of the most dynamic players I've ever seen in college baseball. And he's fun to watch. And I root for that guy. He's a good guy, and not against us, of course, but he's just so good. He's a classic swing, loves playing the game, old school player.
Yeah,
just wanted to throw that in.
That's okay.
Well, that's cool, Joe, because we got a chance to get a real taste of him during the World Series and the playoffs last year, where in Pittsburgh you don't even now, even though you have a lot of exposure to the other league, the American League, we still don't see it as much. And for the casual fan, finally getting a chance to learn about Springer during last year's playoff run, and now we get a real taste of him in person. It's been tough.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that's the one thing about, when I grew up in Erie, it was great for us because we want to go see National League. We go to Pittsburgh. We want to go see the American League. We go to Cleveland. Yeah. We don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. We can see anywhere, anyway. But I just to throw this in there, how about the Tampa Bay Rays? And the reason I say that is because all the things that we talk about, they do. Small ball, move the baseball, good pitching, clean defense, aggressive on the bases. And, there's obviously a solid lineup, but not a lot of superstars, right? And it's I can't wait to go see them play. I like watching baseball in an air-conditioned dome.
Come on now. Yeah. Next thing you're going to be telling me you're glad that Cleveland's building a dome and they're going to play football inside.
No.
All right, one more question.
They have to have a dome down here. The afternoon rains, it's almost like clockwork.
Yeah. All right, one more question, and we got to let the Skip go. Go ahead.
No, so, with the lineup that the Pirates ran out there yesterday, it was almost like watching the Charleston Charlies, back in the 70s. I felt bad for Skeens. Skeens probably went out and saying, look, I better throw a shutout today because I don't have any likelihood of any run support. Do you think a guy like Skeens allows something like that to get into his head to look at that?
Yes.
I don't know. I think he's so steely-minded.
He wants to dominate every time.
I can understand where you're coming from, but it has to affect him a little bit because he's going out on that mound. And listen, I'm not saying that I think Skeens is one of the best in the game, obviously, and he's fantastic, and he's a competitor. And I think maybe if you try and compete too much, that's when you make some mistakes. And I think he loves this team so much and loves to compete. And he's thinking, I got to win this game. So it might not be on the ladder thinking like, oh, I'm just going to go out and do my routine. I think it's just that competitiveness in him that he wants to carry that team. He wants, when I pitch, I expect to win. Period. Amen. So that would be my take on it.
Hey, Skip, enjoy the holiday weekend. And as always, I saw your post earlier, our driving message this weekend, no matter what we're doing, cooking out, talking sports, relaxing by the pool if possible, especially you can do it where you're at. We're experiencing some rainy weather here, but we have to continue to remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. This weekend means a lot to our history and the men and women of our military.
Amen to that.
All right. Thanks, Skip. All right. Coming up, we're heading to Indianapolis. My buddy Scott Stiller will talk about the death of Kyle Busch and also what's happening at the greatest spectacle in sports, the Brickyard. Back in a moment.
Thinking about starting weight loss treatment? GoodRx is here to help. We offer FDA-approved GLP-1 medications prescribed by licensed providers, including the Wegovy tablet, with straightforward pricing and pickup at your local pharmacy or delivery to your door. All from America's #1 prescription app. Go to GoodRx.com/weight-loss to get started. GoodRx is not insurance. Cancel anytime. #1 prescription app ranked by a third-party study.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text RADIO to 64,000. That's RADIO to 64,000.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Colin Dunlap on KDKA.
If you go to a diner and they have a glass Heinz bottle, you've already psychologically decided in your brain that that ketchup tastes absolutely better than any ketchup that comes out and squeezes like out of a plastic bottle.
Weekdays 2 to 6 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is 66 degrees now at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A man was arrested on Saturday, charged with burglary and aggravated indecent assault. Pittsburgh police arrested 29-year-old Charles Willis. Police say he confessed to the crimes that were committed in Oakland on Thursday morning at a residence in the 3400 block of Parkview Avenue. Willis also faces loitering, indecent assault, prowling at nighttime, and harassment charges. He's being held currently in the Allegheny County Jail. Car racer Kyle Busch died of sepsis complications, his pneumonia progressing to sepsis, which can be deadly even in young people like the 41-year-old Kyle Busch, the NASCAR champ. More from ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton.
People are diagnosed with sepsis every year, and more than 300,000 people die. The key here is understanding when an infection rapidly progresses. For example, during what you think is initially a urine infection, suddenly you have a fever and a fast heart rate, or a skin infection and suddenly it's spreading fast, or pneumonia and suddenly you can't speak full sentences. Those are signs that your infection is progressing beyond where it started, and that is when you need to get help.
KDKA Radio News Time 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDKA.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and the world's #1 expandable hose has gone ballistic. The brand new Pocket Hose Ballistic is here, and it's the hose I reach for every time. This brand new anti-burst sleeve uses an extraordinary new liquid crystal polymer used in bulletproof vests, tough enough to handle anything your outdoor tasks throw its way. And that's not all. The Pocket Hose Ballistic comes with even more upgrades like thicker washers that resist leaks and an enhanced UV coating so your hose looks brand new year after year. What could be better than that? How about not one, but 2 free gifts with your purchase? For a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text SUMMER to 64,000. That's SUMMER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. That's SUMMER to 64,000.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds, a few sunny breaks this afternoon, couple of showers and a thunderstorm around I-73. A few showers and a thunderstorm tonight, low 62. Mostly cloudy Memorial Day, maybe a shower I-77, partly sunny Tuesday I-83. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us Tuesday on the Big K Morning Show, 5:30 until 10. We will take you to Dublin, Ireland. Find out why.
All right, there are certain people that I have respect for many reasons, but this guy, because of his broadcast ability and his knowledge of the sport that I love, he's a real gearhead, and I say that with the utmost respect. And he joins us from the Brickyard, Mr. Scott Stiller, a very familiar voice for those of you who have listened to KDKA. For many years, he did some traffic and other things here, so it's nice to get trackside and talk about this sport that we love so much. Scott, how are you? Good morning.
Rob, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, and great to be back on KDKA.
Yeah, great to have you. Listen, before Greg and I jump in here and start talking everything from the Coca-Cola 600 tonight, Tyler Reddick on the pole, a part of that Michael Jordan team, which has been absolutely lights out this season, and also Chip Ganassi's driver, who happens to be on the pole for the Indianapolis 500. The lead story, and we found out yesterday the cause of death, severe case of pneumonia that turned into sepsis, but you're here to talk about the legend of Kyle Busch, and it is a very healthy and very big legend, is it not, Scotty?
Probably one of the greatest resumes in all of NASCAR history, and late models to come up through the ranks to actually make it to the NASCAR level, Rob. He over 200 NASCAR wins in both the truck, the O'Reilly, and the Cup Series. And he's one of those guys who just refused to lose. He never accepted defeat. He was probably one of the few drivers that reminded me of the late Dale Earnhardt in that he just didn't accept finishing second.
Very, very sad story, but a resume that will live on for generations to come. And, you know, I think about Dale Earnhardt and how his life came to an end and his son got out of because of concussion issues that he eventually would seek treatment and get good results from UPMC. But I literally couldn't wrap my hands around it because usually these gladiators, if you will, die behind the wheel. But this guy was in a simulator getting ready for this massive race, maybe as big as the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of NASCAR. And just like that, he's gone, and he leaves behind, obviously, children, his wife, but his brother. And between those two, Kurt and him, they have the most as far as combinations of the same team and winners, if you will, family members in the history of NASCAR. So these brothers are as significant to NASCAR as anything could be, right?
Oh, absolutely. Kurt's a Hall of Famer. Kyle easily will be a Hall of Famer when the time comes if they don't take the voting time period away. I can see him actually getting inducted and them waiving some of the rules to do it. If they don't do it this year, do it next year.
So as Greg's going to jump in here in just a moment, what were your initial feelings when that headline broke? And I remember it came from TMZ that he had been admitted to a hospital with a serious illness, and that was the end of it. And we kept waiting and waiting and waiting and thinking, okay, whatever it is, you know, they'll fix him and he'll be okay. And then just that quickly, we learned that he had passed away. And then yesterday, learning because of sepsis. Just your initial thoughts of a real race car fan and guy who covers in places like Lernerville and all over this country. You're in Indianapolis today. What were your initial feelings, Scotty?
It's total shock, Rob. I got the release from Richard Childress Racing Thursday morning that he was not going to participate in this weekend's activities in Charlotte because of a serious illness. And then later in the afternoon on Thursday, my phone started blowing up did you hear about Kyle Busch? And I texted one of my media colleagues and said, I got the release from Childress this morning that said he wasn't going to race this weekend. And the reply was like, no, he died. And it didn't take long for it to spread around the speedway here amongst the media. It was very quick the way it rolled through the media center. It was like everybody's phone started going off at the same time. And it was utter shock and disbelief that someone in the kind of shape that these race car drivers are in. You know, Stephen A. Smith made a comment a couple of weeks ago about, you know, race car drivers aren't athletes. He wouldn't last 2 minutes in a race car because the heart rate of these drivers gets up into the 170 beats per minute range during one of these races, and it's sustained for 3 or 4 hours depending upon the length of the event. And Kyle had gone to Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago, and he had said that he had had a sinus infection. At least that's what they thought it was. And it was exacerbated with, you know, Watkins Glen being a road course and the elevation changes. And I'm sure some of the listeners probably heard that when he got out of the car, he had to get a shot. And then he went to Dover last week and told a couple of media members that he was feeling much better, but he still was kind of stuffed up. Tuesday of this week, he was at the opening of the Andretti's opened an indoor go-kart center down in North Carolina. He made an appearance with all of the Andretti's there. And then Wednesday, he was in the GM simulator, which is in Concord on the Hendrick Motorsports campus. And then that's when things apparently took the turn.
Scott, it's such a shame, but one of the things that we look at, and you're at Indy now, the differences between the open wheel racing that you'll be witnessing in person today, as compared to the NASCAR racing and the comparisons that are out there. It seems to me, in the way you've been talking, you're more of a fan of the NASCAR, the old-fashioned, if you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing kind of style. Compare the differences for us.
Well, the thing that I love about racing is it not only takes an excellent driver, but it takes an excellent team. Because you could be the greatest race car driver in the world, but they don't have the car underneath you, you're not going to be able to show your talents. And it doesn't matter whether you're an IndyCar, NASCAR, or the local guys racing every Friday and Saturday night at Lernerville and Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. You got to have the horse to be able to get the victory lane. And one of the things I think Kyle Busch has been trying to do is elevate that Richard Childress team to back to where they were. And a lot of teams are struggling with this new car that NASCAR came out with a couple of years ago, because the teams don't make their own chassis now. They pretty much have to buy everything spec. There's very few things they can mess with. IndyCar has been that way for about 10, 15 years now, where they've been down to a single chassis, and there's not a lot that the teams can massage and play with. It's really come down to an engineering focus, and I think Kyle was trying to get RCR back to where they used to be.
That's fascinating, because it's almost like they're trying to effectuate just the best drivers going to win, because everybody's using, in essence, the same equipment. But like you said, even within that same equipment, you own your own vehicle. You can make certain adjustments that, as long as you're within the standard ranges, you're able to do.
Well, I think two things have led to it. One, they wanted it to put more of the emphasis into the driver's hands. And on the flip side of it, the costs of everything have gone exponentially crazy in the motorsports world. So it's a way to kind of keep the cost more of a fixed cost for the owners, because it's so hard to get sponsorship. And when there's a downturn in the economy, it's even harder to get companies to spend the money to put their name on the car.
A couple more moments with Scott Stiller, who is at the Brickyard getting ready for the greatest spectacle in sport, the Indianapolis 500. Alex Pulot is the defending champion. He's on the pole, and he races for Pittsburgh native Chip Ganassi's team. So this is what I heard about Kyle Busch, to give you an idea. And I always have loved the sponsorships. And whenever I see a pack of M&Ms, I think of Kyle Busch. But this is what I heard with all the tributes that were really rolling throughout the media over the last couple of days, that whenever they would approach a sponsor, they would say to that prospective sponsor, you can expect to win probably within the next week or two. Because that's how good Cal Busch, who had been racing since he was 16. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Nobody in the last decade, for sure, has done it better or more consistency. 234 wins across the three aspects of NASCAR. Spectacular, right, Scotty?
Nobody has more. And, I mean, Richard Petty has 200 Cup Series victories, but nobody has more NASCAR victories across all three series than Kyle Busch. And a quick story, we were at Michigan, I think it was Michigan or Pocono, I can't remember what track it was, and he finished second. And when he was in the media center, he was despondent. And someone said to him, well, can't you take some positives out of this? And he said, second place is first loser. And they're like, well, you got a ton of points towards the championship. And he goes, we would have got more had we won. Sure. And it's interesting that when he got married, his wife, Samantha, kind of smoothed out those rough edges and gave him that balance. And I think he became more of a threat at that point because he wasn't so in such a bubble. He got to the track a little more relaxed and didn't feel or didn't put that internal pressure on himself. He just was able to go out and perform, and he ended up with 2 Cup championships during that time period. And then when he had his kids, he's been mentoring his son Brexton to be a racer, and it even brought out a different side of him. So tremendous loss to not only motorsports, but to mankind.
All right, before we let you get out of here, no one does it better than this guy. I got a diamond in the rough, and we're going to try to move forward to promote local racing. Whenever Scotty gives me a shout and thinks that we need to do something, we'll plug him in here on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. So let's move forward to the Indianapolis 500. You and I were talking earlier today, and Fox, by the way, right now has got a pregame or pre-race event that is epic. I mean, there's going to be close to 350,000 people there. Caitlin Clark, Grand Marshal, driving a pace car, Mr. Signetti of the national champion Indiana Hoosiers, Danica Patrick and company, right now broadcasting, doing a spectacular job. But here's what blew me away. Schumacher, one of the greatest open-wheel racers in the history of F1 and Grand Prix events, his family name is there. Bobby Rahal, great car dealership here in Western Pennsylvania with his Ohio connection and that owner that stands by him on a regular basis and has for years, David Letterman of late night fame. Their family is connected to this race today. So tell us about that. And it's a pretty incredible story when you think about those two legendary racing names that are going to be a part of the race today. Go ahead, Scotty.
Well, what's interesting about that, Rob, is Mick Schumacher, Michael Schumacher's son, drives for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. So he's driving for Bobby Rahal, and he's been and Graham Rahal, Bobby's son, has been mentoring him. And it's 40 years ago that Bobby won the race. So Graham has been very quiet this month in terms of what he's been doing on the track, but he's been in the top 10, top 15 in speeds, and he's been solely focused on trying to win this race. He wasn't worried about trying to run for the pole. He wasn't worried about anything other than how he could get his car to run in race traffic. So it's going to be interesting for that. Mick being a rookie, I think the biggest thing to watch out for him, he's going to do the most pit stops he's ever done in his life. There's going to be 5, 6, 7 pit stops depending upon how the race shakes out. And rookies typically lose time on pit road in and out. And if there's a mistake, it's either going to be in the pits or on a restart for a rookie because it's just experience is king at this track.
All right. So you told me also today for the first time in how long there will not be an Andretti or an Unser in this race.
Yeah, since I think it's 53 years since there won't be an Unser or an Andretti in the race. Marco Andretti retired last year, and there are no Unsers in at least actively racing at this point in time. And I know Adam Andretti's been doing some stock car stuff, but he's not climbing into – he's running some truck races this year in NASCAR, but he's not running any open-wheel stuff.
Hey, in closing, not only could he win on the hardwood, he can win on the asphalt, too. Michael Jordan's team has been incredible. Tyler Reddick is on the pole for the Coca-Cola 600. We'll end on that note. Your thoughts, Scott Stiller.
I think it's today's the greatest motorsports day in the world. You've got NASCAR racing, you've got Indy racing, and you've got Formula One racing. Formula One screwed things up because Monaco used to be in the morning, Indy would be in the middle of the day, Charlotte would be at night. You can't count out Reddick's team. But I'm going to tell you, keep an eye on the Hendrick team. They're starting to get their mile-and-a-half program together. And as far as Indy goes, Alex Palou starting on the pole. Don't discount Scott Dixon in that number 9 PNC Bank car for Chip Ganassi, because he's got 6 championships under his belt. He won the 2008 500. He is a serious threat as well. Ganassi's got the best IndyCar team out there.
Hey, Scott, isn't there someone who's running in both races, a driver that's running both and trying to do the double today?
Catherine Legg, you're right. She's going to run for Dale Coyne at Indy, and then she's going to go down and run for B.J. McLeod's team at Charlotte. First woman ever to do the double. The last person to do the double was, I believe, Kurt Busch.
Good stuff. Listen, no one does it better. Scotty, so grateful for your time. Much appreciated, okay?
Rob, great to have you on. One quick shout-out to the locals. It's been a horrible spring for the local tracks weather-wise. They have not been able to drop the green flag. So when the weather clears up, I hope everybody goes out to Lernerville, PPMS, and supports those guys, because they definitely need the help.
Sounds good. Always racing for that checkered flag. Scott Stiller live in Indianapolis, the Brickyard, getting ready for the greatest spectacle in sports. And again, thoughts and prayers go out to the Cal Busch family on his untimely loss at the age of 41.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwyck Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Yeah, watching the pre-race coverage on Fox, you think you could do that? I mean, even if I had the skill set, it's pretty tough to basically strap into the cockpit of what could be a rocket ship with 4 wheels. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, one thing we forgot to mention with the Schumacher guy is his grandfather, Willie Schumacher, won the Kentucky Derby. So that was really,
no relation. Although these gentlemen and these women who are the drivers in these open wheel and F1. They're not physically overpowering, but man, they are wiry and they are strong. And as Scott said, they are athletes. Believe me what I'm telling you. I mean, just imagine NASCAR in the middle of summer, 3-4 hours, even though you have air conditioning. And back in the day when they had no air conditioning and they were on that track with the asphalt, you know how tough it gets when you're out, cleaning off the driveway in the middle of the summer. I don't know, man. It's a sport that's not for the faint of heart, and I've always had so much respect for them. And it goes back to my childhood growing up watching ABC's Wide World of Sports when Chris Schenkel used to be the voice and Keith Jackson, and Richard Petty was winning race after race after race. And I just have always loved it. But it's amazing to see what Michael Jordan has done, which is incredible.
Remember there was a guy who was always in the pits, Chris Economaki?
Oh, screaming up top of his lungs.
Those were the good old days. How many open wheel races are there? There's the Indianapolis 500. Are there others?
And there's a big one next week. They kind of, dovetail each other. I think it's in Detroit. There's,
But that's not Formula One. That's a whole different thing, right?
Yeah. Open wheel. Formula One, then Jackie Stewart, you may remember him, who became the commentator.
Yeah.
Jackie Stewart, he was great, that Scottish racer. I find it like Lewis Hamilton, who's really the heir apparent to some of the greats, still doing it overseas and around the world. I think they are gladiators, and I think it's a special person that plays football or baseball, but there's something that is that gladiator inside someone who wants to go 200 miles an hour for multiple hours in a vehicle that at any given turn could disintegrate in front of your very eyes.
Yeah, I think there have been, at least, I think it was a guy named Castro Nieves, who crossed over from Formula One to IndyCar and then to Dancing with the Stars. He was one of, a legendary Dancing with the Stars character.
Listen, and the one person who's on the set with Danica Patrick has been this morning is Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart may have been the greatest racer in all various type of racing. He did it all, even open wheel a little bit, but he was one of those who would go from Indy.
Did the double. Yeah, I think he was the first guy, yeah.
Catch a helicopter and go, and I don't know.
And he used to do a backflip off the car. If he won the race, he would stand on a car and then do a backflip.
No, that wasn't him.
Are you sure?
Positive.
All right.
He was in the bar getting the quart of Iron City and drinking a Permane Brothers sandwich.
Yeah, you talk about guys that were in shape all night. He was one guy that was against the regulations there.
I love it.
He was like Terry Forster.
And Lernerville is such a treat and just a wonderful place. And if you're looking for something to do this summer to kind of get out and have fun, Scott is so right about that. It's definitely worth the price of admission. All right, we're going to come back. Tell everybody who's joining us after the break.
We're going to have Dr. Karen Hall with us, who is now the director of the Ozanam program, an awesome program, summer basketball, but also a lot of other aspects of education and daycare and things of that nature. And I think you'll enjoy a little visit with Dr. Karen Hall.
All that's still to come. Plus, we'll talk a little NBA, NHL, and Ted will be here to wrap up the show between 12:30 and 1, talking about life in the National Football League. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show, your Pratt Pack. Rob Taylor next with the noon news.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Pros, save more on the materials you need to get the job done, inside and out, at Lowe's. Right now, get 10% off in-stock Trex Naturals decking, now available in more styles. Plus, get 15% off select custom entry, interior, and storm doors. Then, we'll deliver it all straight to your job site to help keep your jobs moving. Get the brands pros trust, priced right, and ready when you need them. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Rob Pratt here. I'm talking with our good friend John Diagardi of Rome Monument about monument plans designed to meet the needs of different faiths. John, how do these pre-need plans work?
Whatever your faith, Catholic, Jewish, Protestant, or Orthodox, we have a customized monument plan for you. It enables you to get the exact monument design you want in accordance with the traditions of your religion and do so at the price you want to pay.
How important is pre-planning a monument in harmony with one's faith?
Rob, it should be as important as planning an insurance policy, a will, or choosing a cemetery. And pre-planning enables you to design, plan, and pay for the monument that best reflects you and your faith. It's also a thoughtful gift to children because it relieves them of the stress and financial responsibility of making these decisions after you passed.
Friends, learn more about these 3-year interest-free plans at one of Rome Monument's 9 showrooms or click romemonuments.com.
At Habitat for Humanity, we believe home is where you find peace, stability, and safety. But 1 in 3 people on Earth woke up today without a good home. Let's open the door to opportunity. Visit Habitat.org to learn more. That's Habitat.org.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 68 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. One man is in custody after he barricaded himself inside a home in Denora. It happened around 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon at a home on McCrae Avenue. It took hours for police and the SWAT team to eventually get him to agree to surrender. He eventually did. It's unclear what led police originally to the home. A man was arrested Saturday, charged with burglary and aggravated indecent assault. Pittsburgh police arrested 29-year-old Charles Willis. Police say he confessed to the crimes that were committed in Oakland on Thursday morning at a residence in the 3400 block of Parkview Avenue. Willis also faces loitering, indecent assault, prowling at nighttime, and harassment charges. He's currently being held at the Allegheny County Jail. Doug McCain, a Navy pilot and the eldest child of the late Senator John McCain, died suddenly at the age of 66, according to his family. Cause of death not known. Doug was the son of John McCain's first wife, Carol Shep. McCain adopted him when he and Shep married back in 1965. Well, President Trump is declaring a peace deal with Iran will be announced shortly. Trump making that announcement after a call with Gulf leaders and officials and a separate call with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Here's ABC's Alex Perchet.
Big concerns over an Iran deal from Israel. A source familiar with the situation tells ABC News that there is serious concern and disappointment because Israel says it signals to Iran they can use the Strait of Hormuz as a weapon. Netanyahu is scheduled to hold a security meeting with his defense officials later today.
Large 4-foot piece of copper from a boiled kettle that was stolen from the Penn Brewery on the north side a week ago has been found and returned to the brewery. The historic piece was found unmelted at the bottom of a scrap pile by Pittsburgh police. Brewery on social media thanked Pittsburgh police for their help. Suspects who allegedly stole the copper piece are facing charges. Penn Brewery uses copper kettles that the former owner imported 40 years ago from Germany. KDK Radio News Time, it's 12:02. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
If you're in the Pittsburgh area and caring for a loved one with Medicaid, get paid starting today. Freedom Care has already helped over 162,000 families get the care they deserve, with 97% satisfaction and more than 8,000 five-star reviews. If you have Medicaid, you need to hear this. You may qualify to choose a caregiver you already trust, a family member or friend, and they can start getting paid. No agencies, no strangers, just someone you know, helping with meals, medication, bathing, mobility, and more. This service isn't for later, it's for right now. It's 100% free to you through Medicaid, and caregivers get paid right away after their shift. Find out if you qualify today. Call 412-801-7213. That's 412-801-7213. Don't wait. Call 412-801-7213 now. Again, 412-801-7213. Freedom Care. Get paid to care starting now.
Now that I'm retired, I'm worried about making ends meet. Food, medicine, and rent cost more every day. And that's why I used benefitscheckup.org. It connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Benefitscheckup.org is a free service from the National Council on Aging. In a few clicks, older adults like me can see if they might qualify for money-saving programs. If you're on a fixed income, benefitscheckup.org might help you too. For free, visit today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly cloudy this afternoon, couple of showers, even a thunderstorm, I-73. A few showers and even a thunderstorm in the area tonight, low 62, maybe a shower tomorrow, mostly cloudy I-77, and then partly sunny Tuesday, I-83. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli.
This Memorial Day weekend will be a time for travel, a time for family gatherings at cookouts, and a time to relax. But this weekend is more than that. Memorial Day is a federal holiday to honor American personnel who died while serving in the armed forces. It is a day for visiting cemeteries and memorials for the 1.3 million service members who died in the line of duty. At least 13 service members have died during Operation Epic Fury in Iran. This weekend, we ask that you pay tribute to those who have sacrificed their lives to keep our lives safe and free. This is the time to put aside your political differences and remember those who have died in combat so we can continue to be the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, back here on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, Metropolitan Window video screen. Click on kdkradio.com and KDK Watch. And joining us right now is Dr. Karen Hall, who works with Mr. Diolis and Company on the Board of Directors of the Western Pennsylvania chapter of the PA Sports Hall of Fame. Doc, great to have you here today. And this is where I say hello to your friend because he wants to ask you a whole lot of good stuff. Greg Diolis. Greg.
Good morning, Dr. Hall. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Greg. Thank you so much, you and Rob.
You're welcome. So, we do a lot of work together with the Tick Clockerty section of the Western Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, the Western Pennsylvania chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. But we're here today to talk a little bit something different. Your involvement with the Ozanam program and Ozanam program that started basically at Fifth Avenue High School playgrounds. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're right. I was a toddler then, pretty much, but yes.
So tell us a little bit more about it. Darrell Porter had been the executive director, and now you have succeeded him and are putting in new directions or following through on original directions. But tell us a little bit more about the Ozanam program.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, you can say it was a prelude with the Fifth Avenue League, but Mr. Carl Coleman, that's literally where it started, right? So he was the first and the original founder of Ozanam, which was up in the hill on Wiley Avenue. And it was basically an after-school program that drew kids to the center, but it obviously morphed into the athletic portion, which he then started his summer basketball leagues literally late 60s, like 68, 69, because those greats like Dwight Clay's, the Ricky Coleman's, the Sam Clancy, like they all came along during those 60s and 70s years to pretty much light the fire for the rest of us. You know, and the names are all synonymous with excellence, championships, All-Americans, so forth and so on. And it's highly athletic and nationwide, and we still have the original shirt, right? That when you walk around nationally, and if people came up during that time through AAUs, which was highly unlike the AAUs of today.
Right.
Ozanam literally had one team for all divisions, but if you play during that time, people recognize you through the shirt, and same with locally. So it morphed into high athletic achievement, but it also, Mr. Coleman was huge on the education. So all I'm doing right now as the first woman chief executive officer, we've changed, we're in transition, so we've changed a lot of things in reference to language. However, it's all about making a difference in the lives of the kids, families, and everyone that we serve. That is Ozanam.
And what is it? So the program actually takes care of kids, elementary school and above, and
So it's year round. We have the after school program, so that's the ages like 8 years old to 13, and these kids come from all over the city. So we have partnerships with Duquesne University, University of Pittsburgh, Carnegie Mellon University. They offer us tutors that come through the program throughout the entire year, their academic school year. And they sit there and help the kids with not just the homework, but with social skills, getting to know people of different ethnicities and cultures, and literally how to interact with each other. And then the high school age group kicks in really around May when we start our athletic programs on a consistent basis, like May through July is when our clinics start, our basketball leagues, 12, 14 high school boys, and we were able to resurge the girls' basketball clinics and league, which back in my day, the summer league was off the charts.
So these kids, Rob, they get to have one heck of a role model when you talk about Dr. Hall. She was a state champion basketball player at Mount Alvernia back in the
34-0, put that in there. 34-0
back in the early '80s, and then obviously went on to become a doctor, PhD doctor, not MD doctor. And congratulations on that. So kids today who can look up to the director of this program and say, look, that hopefully can someday be something that I can strive to do.
I grew up in the Hill District, right? And most of us, not all of us, we came from all different parts economically, socially, schools, the whole bit growing up back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We all came from different regions, parts of the city and surrounding area. So Mr. Coleman, I don't know what kind of dream he was having, but I tell you, it was one that has lasted 5 decades, and that we're all adults and we're all doing amazing work around the country. And to have alumni base like that and have alums here in Pittsburgh who still come back, we're really working to get more of our alums back in the fold. These kids, they don't know right now, but they're so fortunate to have those of us that understood the program and our call to action. Like our call to action was to give back and help kids from whatever walk of life they come to us to grow up in an environment that's safe, that's education-based, that's socially based. And then not every kid that comes to Ozanam is athletic. So they may not even touch a ball, football, but there's opportunities at Ozanam. Partnerships is what's going to be the difference under my tenure. Partnerships, collaborations, because Ozanam is a brand. And, there's still many people in our city who are unfamiliar with Ozanam. That's where partnerships and collaboration, as I say, with Grant Street, where the money is, that's where Ozanam's going to elevate.
Where is Ozanam? Where's your physical facility?
Yeah, so we are housed in the Ammon Recreation Center, which is a part of the City Parks and Recreation Department. So it's 1277 Bedford Avenue, right? And it's in the middle of the Ammon Pool and the Macedonia Church. So it's actually 2177. I get my numbers wrong. Don't play the lottery too often. But yeah, that's where we're located. So we have a agreement with the city that allows us to utilize it for after school programming and all of our athletic programs. So, and that's year round. So we do skill development during the year for our community kids who are invited to everything that we do. And then we have our formal clinics, basketball clinics. And I have to tell you, we've added biddy ball. So if you guys got any 4 to 8-year-olds out there, bringing them on up to Ammon. So Saturday mornings, 9 weeks in the summer, starting 3 weeks ago, we have girls basketball clinic. And this is a throwback to the 80s from 10 to 11 a.m. at Ammon. Then we go biddy ball. So you guys that have those little kids and love kids, bring them on up. We got the baby hoops. We got the baby balls. But I'm telling you, that is our future. So the goal there is, we say, when you come into O&M, you never age out. So this is our next generations of O&M alums, these biddy ballers. They have no clue right now, right? But we do biddy ball from 11 to 12. And then we do boys, another throwback from the 80s, the basketball clinics from 12 to 1. So, you know, O&M is in the midst of moving forward and elevating that. Like, that's the word.
All right, listen, I get one question. He's the lawyer, so he gets to ask more questions, but this is right in my wheelhouse. You know, I love basketball. It's always been my favorite, and for years doing play-by-play, I've seen it all throughout the tri-state. Now, look, we mentioned some of the men earlier, but some of the women, too, that I think of, the Susie McConnell-Serios, obviously Swin Cash, good friend years and years ago, tremendous talent, and Bolger and others that I've witnessed. Now, this is my argument, Karen, something I'd love to get done in my lifetime. I know they'll never give me an NBA team, which they should at least think about it. But when you get Caitlin Clark getting 2.5 million viewers for one WNBA game, WNBA has been around for 2 decades plus, but obviously Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, it is really starting to take hold. I believe a WNBA team would work in Pittsburgh, especially with the biddy ball, the young kids coming up. If they've got one in Cleveland and they've got one in Philadelphia and they've got one in Detroit, your opinion, could a WNBA team work in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, that's a loaded question, Rob. I will say it could work, but I tell you what, the women's athletics here in Pittsburgh needs more exposure, because literally the difference between the WNBA is 30 years, but there's about 20 years of non-exposure.
Right.
Right. So the difference today is not the players that makes the difference. What makes the difference is that they're being exposed on a national level with television. So you mentioned some women through O&M, but you didn't mention many women because it wasn't exposure. You didn't mention the Mary Myers, who was just inducted.
Right.
Alderdice Great, University of Kansas phenom. You didn't mention a Jennifer Bruce, who played at South back in the day, but then went on to the University of Pittsburgh to play some phenomenal basketball. I mean, there's so many women in our area that we all know, but many generations don't know because there wasn't exposure. I could go on and on, run down a list. Shannon Davis.
Wow.
I could run down a major list of major women who before Bolger, before Clark, they literally stand on our shoulders. Like I stand on Mary and Jennifer's shoulders. So
how do we do that, Doc? How do we really get that out there to where they get exposure? And more importantly, the stream of consciousness is looking back at the rich history of the past to create a better future. How do we do that?
Yeah, so I talked about Grant Street, right? So I also talk about the media, because the media is what drives people to different parts, right? The media and I, because I'm a media person as well, you know, my thought is, look, let's do something. Let's create, like, we're all brilliant people, right? Let's create a venue to where we can just not bring back all the men. Like, you can rattle off all kind of men's names in just our city, let alone throughout. But you can't rattle off as many women's names. That's the problem. So, you know, we talk about WNBA. Can it work in Pittsburgh? We would support it. The women would support it. But fortunately, the men still have the purse they're still driving that WNBA. Like, thank goodness for that, for Adam Silver, right? He says, hey, we'll keep it going. But when you look around the league and in different departments, there's men's names in positions. We need more men saying that, hey, to Dr. Karen Hall, let's sit down and talk. How can we start filtering WNBA events into the city of Pittsburgh? You got to introduce it. So I'm right here. So for your listeners, for you guys, help us make that happen, because we need to sit down at tables. The Karen Halls, the Jennifer Bruces, the Susan McConnells, those of us who are helping paving the way, we've done our due, and we know how to make it happen. I'm on the peripheral of like the league because I do some things. I talk to people. Susie's played in the league. Jennifer's on the peripheral. So we have people right in our city. I work at Point Park University. There's some things that's happening down that end with the W. So we need people from the W to come to Pittsburgh to have us sit down at a table to introduce WNBA events. Then you can talk about the WNBA team.
Coming
Swin
here.
Cash, bring her in too.
Oh, yeah. First call I'd make. Listen, do me a favor. You know how to get a hold of me now. Whatever I can do, anytime, you always have some room here on this show, okay?
Thank you so much for that, Rob and Greg. Thank you so much for that.
A little bit of passion there, wouldn't you say, Greg?
She's the best. She's one of our most proud members with the Hall of Fame.
Good stuff. All right, take a break. We'll come back. Little NBA, a little NHL, and then some NFL to the top of the hour. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
When you need to talk, we're here for you. Always have been. News Radio KDKA.
Save big and head to your local Toro dealer for this spring sales event on now. Groundbreaking savings on Toro Zero Turn, Stand On, and Walk Behind mowers. Stop in today to check out the great deals and amazing finance offers. For more information on spring sales event deals, visit your local Toro dealer. Penn Hills Rental at 11125 Frankstown Road or call 412-242-6777.
Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Listen, I finally realized you're not a cheap date. You're taking your beautiful bride to Ditka's for your anniversary.
Well, yeah, because I kind of screwed up and didn't do a whole lot for Pam's birthday last time it came around, so I better make sure I do something smart this time.
Listen,
so we're gonna
probably the greatest duo in the history of the food industry. Pat McDonald, Mike Ditka, and Mr. Jack Hunt of Johnny Angel and the Halo fame in that mix, too, as well. He did a lot of big-time stuff with Pat, including Atreus at the ballpark back in the day. But those guys, they know food. But Ditka's, if you really want a steak, a real steak, that's where you go.
That's what I'm looking forward to. That'll be the main course. We'll probably do a appetizer of some sort and mix it all up, and maybe I'll even treat myself to some dessert tomorrow.
Well, listen, so here's what you need to do, because I have such a full life. You need to take me a snapshot of that steak and send it to me.
What do you live through pictures?
That's
like
that
show Ghosts. Like you're gonna live through the smells.
I woke up Labor Day 2008. My life has never been the same. I keep waiting for the parole board to let me out, but I don't think they're going to. But it's been a heck of a ride, and I'll get to do a little smell-o-vision when he sends me that picture of that juicy steak from Ditka's. Okay, the Knicks are on the verge of eliminating the Cavs. San Antonio seems to have fallen to the wayside now, even with Victor Wembanyama and the defending champ OKC Thunder with SGA seem to be in control there. Are you excited at all about the NBA postseason? With the New York Knickerbockers, you got to be a little bit excited.
I know what you want me to say, but I don't really care that much about that. But I will tell you this much. I was amazed at the 22-point come-from-behind victory. Was it last Friday night or middle of the week?
Left in the game.
Yeah, so to see that happen, and then so that's kind of leading to the demise of the Cavaliers, because it's almost impossible to come back after you get yourself behind like that and then lose game two. So that could have been the death knell to them.
So Bridget Chufo, the great Dr. Bridget Chufo, Villanova grad, she'll be with me next Sunday in the 9 o'clock hour. She goes and watches them. She loves Jalen Brunson. I didn't realize he has not only won one national championship, he won 2 national championships at Villanova.
Yeah, they had one heck of a run with that group of guys. They were really good, and that was after the Jay Wright time, right? Or was that Jay Wright's the end of Jay Wright?
End of Jay Wright.
Yeah, I mean, but in those guys, there's like that whole starting five went to the NBA. They're really an impressive group, and you don't think of Villanova as being a powerhouse like that.
Here's what I didn't realize: Jason Kidd, who just got fired from Dallas. And it's kind of hard to win when they get rid of Luka Doncic, although Cooper Flagg's the future there, but they're going to do it with a different coach. I didn't realize that Jalen Brunson was a Dallas Maverick before he became a New York Knick. I know. Well,
you beats me on that one. Let me ask you this much. Steph Curry, is he done?
No. They're bringing Kerr back, so he'll be back. That's the only reason I know he's coming back, because Kerr just signed a 2-year extension.
But he's kind of, he's not what he once was.
And I predict LeBron James. Remember, you heard it here first. He's not going to Cleveland. Harden will get a contract extension. Cleveland will be a wannabe, but Boston will be back with a vengeance next year. I think Philadelphia is going to get better on the east side of things. But I look for LeBron James to leave Hollywood to go to the city that never sleeps. He will be a member of the New York Knicks next year.
I think they're going to just put a whole bunch of group together. They're going to put Steph Curry, LeBron James, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all on one team, Larry Bird.
How about Victor Wembanyama? He's got a 9-foot wingspan.
He may become the best player to ever play the game.
Well, I told Rob, I think Adam Silver, if he is smart, you cannot be over 7'5" to play in the NBA. They got to put a height limit on it.
Yeah, I saw him the other day dunk a ball, and I swear his feet were still on the ground.
They said he can be low post and block the rim and stop the perimeter shot.
Jeez.
Because he's that agile, and he's got that much girth to him, his body. I mean, 9-foot wingspan, 7'5", who can shoot from the top of the key.
And handle the ball. He can dribble.
All the way up and down the court like a point guard.
Yeah, that is one amazing specimen.
And he's from France, and he's got that cool accent, too. So it's pretty cool. Last thing.
Think he has any trouble with women?
I don't think so, man. What if they say, what's the weather like up there? No, just kidding. I like the guy. Anyway, Carolina, overtime, they even things up with Montreal. Vegas, I don't know how they're doing against Colorado, but they're doing a number on them. I absolutely love the fact that Montreal is just a couple of games away from maybe playing in the Stanley Cup final. That would be great to see.
Yeah, and it's they are the epitome of hockey. That's they're kind of like the hotbed, the one place. It's like a religious experience when the Montreal Canadiens are the ones that are a part of the finals.
All right, so stay with us. We're going to come back. Pirates, Toronto, right now underway. 93.7 The Fan. Hopefully they can get a win. Who really has been? It's been a tough road to hoe for the Pittsburgh Pirates of late. Hopefully they can get one today. Mitch Keller is on the bump. All right, short break coming up. Rob Taylor, and then we talk NFL right to the top of the hour. In case you haven't heard, Aaron Rodgers has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll be back.
Been 30 time, would have been 30, no, would have been 30, being 30, been 29, if that'll help, been 29,000.
Get ready to bid on the equipment you need in the Ritchie Brothers Northeast Regional Auction on June 23rd. Inventory is housed at locations in Pittsburgh, North Franklin, and Northeast Maryland with in-person inspections available. Bid on a wide selection of construction and transportation equipment. Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit rbauction.com/Pittsburgh to sign up. Again, That's rbauction.com/Pittsburgh.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much anger these days. You know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at KDKRadio.com. It's where we will find a way to help you.
Presented by UPMC Health System, Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Cousins Roofing, Siding and Decks, and by Harold Shepley and Associates. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 69 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is in custody after barricading himself inside a home in Donora. This happened around 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon at a home on McCrae Avenue. It lasted for hours. Eventually, SWAT team was called in. The man eventually surrendered to police. It's unclear what originally led police to that home. Well, the death of a 4-year-old boy who was killed when he was struck by a vehicle in the Hill District has been ruled an accident. Investigators say the 4-year-old Yasan Irvin Weathers ran into the street, Anaheim Street, right before he was struck by that vehicle on Monday night. The driver stayed at the scene. Police said the driver was not impaired. The crash is under review by the city's Department of Mobility and Infrastructure. KDK Radio News Time. It's 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh. News Radio KDKA.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
What if you could buy a flippable, two-sided mattress made with the finest materials that cost less than other luxury brands? This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory, and this is exactly what you'll find with our new Orthos line, available exclusively at OMF. We build these by hand using premium materials like wool and cotton. It's old-world craftsmanship with modern comfort, our most extraordinary sleep system. Built locally at a price other luxury brands just can't match. Visit the Original Mattress Factory and experience the Orthos line for yourself.
When it comes to surgery, trust matters. At Independence Health System, our award-winning surgeons use advanced techniques and technology to deliver safe, precise, and personalized care. We offer minimally invasive options for faster recovery, smaller incisions, and less risk. From hernia repair to bariatric surgery, our skilled team is here for you every step of the way. Learn more at independence.health. Independence Health System. Expert care here.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds, a few sunny breaks this afternoon, couple of showers and a thunderstorm around I-73. A few showers and a thunderstorm tonight, low 62. Mostly cloudy Memorial Day, maybe a shower I-77, partly sunny Tuesday I-83. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us Tuesday on the Big K Morning Show, 5:30 until 10. We will take you to Dublin, Ireland. Find out why.
All right, back here for the final couple of segments, and we always wrap up with the National Football League. The man that built this brand, this segment, Mr. Ted Arnaud. Ted, your time in the Air Force, the military, those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Let's begin on that this Memorial Day weekend, and then we'll get down to the business of the National Football League. But let's talk reality and the significance of Memorial Day. Go ahead.
Well, it's what our country is based on, citizen warriors. And you go back through our history, those who have joined and wore the cloth were the first ones step up, defend the country, defend their fellow citizens. And there's the old song, Brothers in Arms. And I think most military people feel that, looking at other military members, people who have served, that they are brothers in arms.
It's pretty cool this weekend. Turner Classic Movies is running all of the classic war movies. Watched a little bit of Midway last night. Some of those movies, they just get your blood stirring, right? I mean, that's amazing how they are able to put those things together. Charlton Heston's in that movie. And
listen, I have grown up a lot. Back in the day when Ted knew me, it was the Dallas Cowboys go to war. You know what I mean? So, but I have matured because of people like you and Mr. Dvorak, who will be with me tomorrow night along with Tony Accomando. So I've been watching Netflix during the last couple of days while I'm working out, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. And some of the History Channel programming is now on Netflix. And I watched a documentary about FDR. I watched one about Teddy Roosevelt. I'm watching one now about the Great War, World War I. So my theme, Teddy, the last couple of days through tomorrow night is about that period from the Great War, 19th to the 20th century, the Industrial Age, stock market crashes, the Depression, the New Deal, FDR, the GI Bill, Social Security, funding the World War II effort with nothing but war bonds, not a single cent of taxpayer dollars. No matter what anyone says, when you look at that time period and those generations, many who came through Ellis Island stood side by side and actually went back to fight against their homeland, meaning Germany in World War I and even World War II Germany. I think it's one of the reasons why we are still upright in America, despite all of the problems we've had, is because of those people who lived here in America during that time period, Ted.
Absolutely. And, my grandson asked me who I think was our greatest president. And I always say without any hesitation, it was Dwight D. Eisenhower, the last of two five-star generals that served in World War II. Became the leader of the country, really connected this country.
Yeah, as Ted was saying, and we kind of lost him for a moment, we'll get him back. Lonzo, do me a favor, call him back if you can, and we will kind of vamp a little bit here until we get Ted back on the line. But here's the thing that I learned about FDR that I did not know. He died April the 12th, 1945, when he was in the middle of his third term. He ran again because he wanted to see this war to the end. And one of the last big decisions he did, because there was Patton, there was Omar Bradley, but for D-Day, a day that will never be forgotten, June of 1944, he chose Dwight Eisenhower. He thought he was the right guy for the job. And the other thing that he did, he had another vice president in that final term. It was Harry Truman who made the decision, obviously, to drop the bombs, right, which may not be popular when you think about it, but at that time, if he doesn't do it, millions of other people die. All right, Teddy, we got you back. Go ahead. Finish your thought about Dwight Eisenhower.
Well, I think, and it's kind of timely. They're coming out with a new movie in theaters at the end of next week, I think it is, about D-Day. and what it was really like during D-Day and what a miracle it was for them to have landed and been successful. But I think, once again, it was his leadership, not just in the military, but coming out of World War II and going into the 50s, early 50s, when the United States was going into the true industrial revolution, and once again, fostering the highway system that we now have. I just thought he's a great leader, a great military man, and was a great president.
Yeah, that movie, Pressure, it's going to be distributed by Focus Features. The film focuses on the tense, high-stakes 72 hours leading up to Normandy's invasion, when Allied leaders had to make the ultimate go-or-no decision on the unpredictable weather. Brendan Fraser, who won an Academy Award recently for his role in Whale, and also The Mummy, who's training for another sequel there. He is in the lead role. I mentioned when we kind of lost you for a moment, but we got you back now, Ted. One of the last things that FDR did before he passed away at Warm Springs in April of '45, he decided to go with Dwight Eisenhower for Normandy because he believed that he had what it took to get it done, and how right he was, right?
He was. He was absolutely right. There were, the two 5-star generals. He was the one in Europe, and he just really, if it wasn't for his leadership, and of course all of the brave soldiers who fought, and all the other officers who created the ability for them to invade the way they did, we might be speaking German today. I don't know.
It's amazing to me. They talk about all these courageous leaders, the generals that are out there, and I don't know how much of it is Hollywood, changing the script and taking poetic license, but all of these guys seem to be, boots on the ground with their troops. You watched the MacArthur movie the other day. He's like in a Jeep taking point on one of the invasions, and all the great George C. Scott movie with Patton. How he was out there with the troops and just kind of standing up there, no protection whatsoever, just being part of the group, and the great leadership that those guys had. They didn't use that line, "Hey fellas, I'm right behind you." They were leading.
Yeah, and they were in the Jeeps and following ahead, or usually leading the Jeeps and their people on. Great leadership. We are very lucky as American citizens to have really evolved from that.
Here's the thing that really blows me away. Both World War I and World War II, we were going up against the enemy, Germany, that had millions of troops, tens of thousands of tanks and planes, and we in this country, going into both wars, had a little over 100,000 people in our military. And because of names that you just mentioned, and I was talking about Omar Bradley and Patton and Dwight Eisenhower, World War II, but General Pershing, who was a part of San Juan Hill with Teddy Roosevelt, they had to get millions ramped up in the military and trained to go to war. World War I starts in 1914. We get into the mix in 1917, but preparation began years before, but they had to literally go from 0 to 60 within a matter of seconds, not literally, but figuratively. And we actually, at the start of World War II, when we got in the mix after Pearl Harbor, we were using equipment from World War I. So we really did overcome insurmountable odds, Teddy.
Yes, we did, and we converted an entire manufacturing base into a military manufacturing base. You think of the odds of doing that now. It's almost insurmountable how they did it.
Amazing. And the women were back here, Rosie the Riveter and company. And here's the thing, from the coal mines of West Virginia to the steel mills of western Pennsylvania, we in this region and our ancestors are responsible for victory in World War I and World War II. I don't think that's an understatement, Teddy.
No, and I think per capita, believe it or not, I think West Virginia has the highest percentage of veterans per capita for a state.
In closing, we talk about our heroes on the field of athletics all the time in the way of sports. But when you think about what some of our relatives, friends and neighbors and people that we were connected with in our journey, what they did in the Pacific Theater or the European Theater during World War II and World War I, it's mind-boggling how we could even be so infatuated with athletes and entertainers, thinking about those heroes that many of us walked with side by side and grew up with because they were members of our family. We just didn't know about it, Teddy.
Absolutely. Well, my father dropped out of high school his senior year and went into the Navy with his two older brothers. And it was kind of a national story that all three brothers were enlisting on the same day. You know, he eventually got his GED through the military and everything, but that was the spirit that the people had then.
All right. We're going to take a break, come back, wrap up on the NFL. But again, take time this weekend to pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And we'll be back tomorrow night with our annual Memorial Day show beginning a little after 5 right here on KDKA.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Hey, folks, my friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Joe from Pittsburgh loved the excellent work NASCO did on replacing his roof and gutters. It was a big job that NASCO completed in just 2 days with excellent attention to every detail. Joe was also impressed with NASCO's cleanup that left his home spotless. NASCO has thousands of customers that are satisfied like Joe. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO 412-373-2000. 412-373-2000. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing. NASCO.
Thinking about starting weight loss treatment? GoodRx is here to help. We offer FDA-approved GLP-1 medications prescribed by licensed providers, including the Wegovy tablet, with straightforward pricing and pickup at your local pharmacy or delivery to your door. All from America's #1 prescription app. Go to GoodRx.com/weight loss to get started. GoodRx is not insurance. Cancel anytime. #1 prescription app ranked by a third-party study.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text radio to 64,000. That's radio to 64,000.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, so Ted, make some sense of this. It's still the big ticket item. We know Aaron's coming back. He says it's his last year. But who's going to end up really backing this guy up? Mason says he thinks he can. Now I'm hearing he could be traded. Drew Aller could end up on the taxi squad. You talk to some people, they say they're going to get rid of one of them, maybe even Will Howard. You look into that crystal ball, how do you see this quarterback room shaping up for the Pittsburgh Steelers now that Aaron's coming back for one more year?
Well, my opinion is you got one for the ditch, so to speak, and you want to make sure that you're ready should something. He's been kind of fragile, had quite a few injuries. I think you got to keep Mason Rudolph. I just do for this year because you're going for the gold this year, and you can't, if there's an injury, have a hiccup. So what you do with your third quarterback, I think that's going to be a battle between the two. Although one's not a rookie, he's kind of a rookie because he didn't really play last year. But my opinion is you keep Mason on.
Ted, the only thing that would mitigate against, not the only thing, one of the things that would mitigate against that thought process would be if you have Rudolph on your roster and then one of the other, whoever wins the battle for the number 3, and if you were hoping to keep the fourth guy on your practice squad, that player has to clear waivers first before you can put him back to your practice squad. And the likelihood of either Aller or Howard clearing waivers is probably not as good as the likelihood of Rudolph clearing waivers, because he's been around and exposed to the league so many times previously. So if you're trying to figure out a way to keep all four, you're probably most likely scenario to keep all four within your organization is to have Rudolph on your practice squad, and then you can activate him at any time from your practice squad. So that would be maybe a way that they could try to figure it out. I know it's none of those are likely scenarios. More than likely, you have four quarterbacks, all of whom would be able to be on an NFL roster somewhere else.
You do. I'm just saying you've gone all in with Aaron Rodgers. It just seems to me that you have, Rudolph's come in, won games. His record's not all that great, but it's good, and he knows the system. I just think if you're going to go all in like that, you better have a primary backup. How you structure the other two, I don't know, or any of the three, if you can put them on the practice squad and bring them back. But my guess is somebody would offer but they trade the other two yet.
Who do you feel like, Ted? Obviously we haven't seen Howard in over a year now, so it's hard to tell. But who do you think among the three that aren't Aaron Rodgers has the most upside to be able to be the quarterback that leads you to a Super Bowl?
It's really hard to say other than Rudolph. He's not going to have the upside. He's just an insurance policy for this next year. You really need to let those two battle it out in the preseason. It's really pretty hard to say. It seems to me that the focus switches from one to the other, and that they both are kind of built in the same fashion. But it would seem to me that Eller has the upside right now. But you got to let those guys fight it out and pretty much let them duke it out over the preseason.
I think one of the things that's going to be interesting with regard to this preseason, Ted, is how the Steelers approach that preseason. Do they want to try to get their number two ready to be the number two? And if that's the case, you're probably going to see Rudolph be the quarterback in most of the preseason games. Or do they want to give these guys a legitimate, the other two, the young guys, do they want to give them a literal chance to battle it out? And if that's the case, then you give them each, a half, a first half, then a second half, and then flip-flop it for the second preseason game, so that you kind of give an equal opportunity for those guys. I think it's going to be the most intriguing preseason that we've had in a long time. Might even be worth watching a couple of preseason games.
I agree with you. I'm not so sure, though, that you don't get Mason Rudolph in there for a quarter and then kind of split up the rest of it, because he's a pro. I mean, he's been around. You kind of know what you got with him. Let him get some game time action just to get his timing down. Then you let the other two almost do exactly what you said, flip-flop, second or third or fourth quarters, however you want to do it. But it is going to be intriguing. It'll be a lot of fun.
I got another idea for us for the fall, Teddy, and that is we get Rob to talk to PJ, and we get a on location for the game in Paris. And we, Ted, you've spent some time over there. I'm sure you could show us some of the right places to go. We can get out there and tour Paris a little bit and do the show from Paris.
Well, but when I speak French, it's a French Canadian speaking French to Parisians. It's kind of like somebody coming from the deep, deep heart of Alabama talking to somebody in Manhattan.
So you're saying they won't be serving crawfish at the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, we need an interpreter for the interpreter.
All right, so let me ask you this. Just when we thought the offensive line, other than Broderick Jones, everything was set, now all of a sudden He's playing leapfrog and moving people around like the last minute of a long-standing checkerboard match that's coming to an end. What is going on with this offensive line? And I got to believe, and he's their first-year head coach, he's not loyal to anyone as far as even some of the top talent, a Fatanu or a Broderick Jones. So what do you make of all of the offensive line movement? Go ahead, Teddy.
I like it. I think it's unsettled other than the center. And to see how they flip around, and you're going to have a couple of reserves ready to go, I think he's doing the right thing. Because I'm not sure. I mean, he's going to have to settle down as to which fit his kind of offense that he's going to install. And I'm not sure he knows yet, right, until he really sees these guys play and how they fit into his system.
I think it's a great idea, Ted, because McCarthy doesn't know these guys from a can of paint, right? He hasn't coached them before, so this is his first time to kind of have hands on. And I kind of like the approach. I've said a number of times, I think that you would end up with a different starting lineup if you took the numbers and names off of the players and just watched them in practice, and then you determine where you're going to put them. And I think that's a little bit of what the Steelers are doing right now. It's like, hey, this is May. We don't play a football game until the second week of September. We have a lot of time to figure out where we're going to plug guys in and get that, chemistry to put it together. But right now, we're getting all the chemicals lined up first before we start mixing them together.
I agree with the. I've always said that the center, to me, is like the quarterback of the line. He's the consistency. And then you start moving guys around, and you're going to need a couple of guys who are capable in a reserve position to plug in, because invariably one of them is going to get hurt. I agree with you. I like the way that he's approaching it.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. I really kind of feel badly for Broderick Jones right now, because it looks like that next situation just isn't coming around. And, he seems like a good guy, and to be, kind of battling through this thing and dealing with it. And every time we get a new report, it seems to be worse and worse. I wish the kid could get healthy so we could really find out, does he have that nucleus of what we were looking for and what we drafted.
And the problem is, when do you determine if he's truly healthy? Because those injuries have a tendency to come back.
Yep. And that's the scary part. And if I was that player, when you're dealing with a neck injury, man, that's got to be, one of those things. When you're there, you're thinking to yourself, I don't know about this. Is it worth it?
I'm not sure I want to be pedaling around for the rest of my life.
Let me just end on this note, and it is early. We've got weeks and months to go. But would you be shocked in November if the Steelers were leading the AFC North?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Simply because this is going to be a battle in the AFC North this year. I wouldn't be shocked. I guess that's not really true. But I wouldn't be shocked if any of the others were leading at that point either.
Okay. Teddy, have a pleasant, restful weekend, and we'll do it again next week, okay?
You got it, guys. Thank you.
See you, Ted.
All right, so what are you eating today?
Oh, we got to go hot dogs, hamburgers, hot sausage on the grill stuff today. That's, it's Memorial Day weekend.
So I brought this up on the Coons Cooking Hour today, and it was a runaway hit. I had people from all walks of life, this great community, backing me up. Have you ever eaten a raw hot dog?
I heard the show you were doing, and no, I haven't.
It's bologna.
I was going to say I'll eat bologna, but no, I am nah. It's got to have a look. I like my hot dogs like burnt, so I'm the other.
This is my family picnic. I go to Coons Market when I get off the air. I go in and buy a 6-pack of Silver Star hot dogs, a thing of Heinz mustard. Go in my car, unfold the napkin, do a little dashboard dining, put it on my dashboard, squirt the raw hot dog with nothing but bologna. And I simply sit there, and that's my picnic. And maybe a little bit of potato salad on the side.
So you like the Silver Star more than the ballpark hot dog?
Not even. There's no comparison.
All right, I'm doing the Silver Stars then. I'll be signing autographs at Banksville.
And by the way, we have the second day of the giant 2-day of savings sale, where you get incredible deals until the end of business today. And by the way, tomorrow we'll close at 7 on Memorial Day. So if you got to get your picnic stuff, get to Coons Market. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you. See you at Coons.
Well, don't forget, coming up after the news At 5 tomorrow night, our Memorial Day show. And coming up right now with the news at 1, here's Rob Taylor, minutes away, KDKA.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
News, weather, traffic, and business every day. Hear it on News Radio KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 70 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. The man who was hit and killed by a vehicle early Saturday morning in Chartiers Township, Washington County, has been identified. Washington County coroner identified him as 21-year-old Philip Fry of Meadowlands. The pedestrian crash happened around 2 o'clock Saturday morning along Pike Street. The driver stayed at the scene. It's unclear if any charges will be filed. Well, car racer Kyle Busch died of sepsis complications, his pneumonia progressing to sepsis, which can be deadly even in young people like the 41-year-old NASCAR champ. Let's get more from ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton.
Nearly 2 million people are diagnosed with sepsis every year, and more than 300,000 people die. The key here is understanding when an infection rapidly progresses. For example, during what you think is initially a urine infection, suddenly you have a fever and a fast heart rate, or a skin infection and suddenly it's spreading fast, or pneumonia and suddenly you can't speak full sentences. Those are signs that your infection is progressing beyond where it started, and that is when you need to get help.
Doug McCain, a Navy pilot and the eldest child of the late Senator John McCain, died this morning at the age of 66. Cause of death unclear. He was the son of John McCain's first wife, Carol Shep, and McCain adopted him when he and Shep married back in 1965. A man was arrested Saturday, charged with burglary and aggravated indecent assault. Pittsburgh police arrested 29-year-old Charles Willis. Police say he confessed to the crimes that were committed in Oakland on Thursday morning. At a residence in Oakland in the 3400 block of Parkview Avenue, Willis also faces loitering, indecent assault, prowling at nighttime, and harassment charges. He's being held in the Allegheny County Jail. KDK Radio News Time, it's 1:02. Let's get to the AccuWeather forecast next.